Mm-hmm. Yay, yay, yay. Quick little video real quick type shit. Motherfucking, it's gonna be about like jail and like kind of like how people even end up going to like jail type of situations and kind of like what leads to that, or just the jail like energy itself. So real quick, first we got, all right, let's like look at jail. What is jail? It's a fixated place, right? Some kind of state of being where you gotta be at, you know what I'm saying? So it's like a fixed place they put niggas at. Like timeout or some shit, right? Really, this video is gonna also apply to, I'm thinking about like a Monopoly concept, like the board game. I'm gonna wrap it around to that. You know, it's winning every single time. I don't know how to lose. Transform L's into W's. West Dakota in this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how to lose. Like, really, life is like a lose-lose. So it's up to me to transmute these lessons, these losses, these lights, these awarenesses, certain, you know, just certain shit. It was so much awareness added to it. All that light bended in on itself and became heavy. It became dark. It was like all your colors. You didn't know how to separate and correlate things correctly. So it's like you mix shit in there, like certain areas and shit. Like imagine a palette, a little paint palette. You know, you got your red, orange, yellow, green, blues. You got your colors and shit. It's like you smeared all of them together and made a black color, right? And that's what motherfuckers being. So it's kind of a lot. When we just start talking about first coming from being like your spirit, your space, and I really hate using this fucking English bastard language to express certain concepts that don't have nothing to do with the 3D reality in this earth realm, this dense earth shapes and forms that we are experiencing, all this shit, right? But it's like layers to this shit. So at like the lightest levels, first you got, you know, you come into existence by being aware of yourself. And it's I'm not gonna go into that. That's a different video. But if you want to, you know, check out more information or hear or listen to more of, you know, kind of like maybe how you got here and trying to remember certain things, you can go watch Dolo the Pilot Man, aka Archangel Uriel on YouTube. And just shout out to the, you know, shout out to that man and the entire subconscious community and Dolo the Pilot Man Soul Group, and you know all the wisdom and knowledge and information that just shared on a daily basis for free from somebody that like don't really give a fuck about the recognition, and yet you got an industry that's pretty much copying that, like its entire energy. So it'd be like shit everybody's doing, the you kind of, yeah, it's like you, like we all make this you kind of energy. Teamwork makes a dreamer. Like I couldn't do shit without you. Like, I ain't shit, right? So your mind, really, you're not the mind. You ain't, like, people claiming to be the mind, the I, the individuality. Yeah, you got your own individual, solo, individual space that you singled out. You squared out your perimeter, you know what I mean? Your little figurine concepts of your 360 and your ozone and how you chose to square yourself in dimensions and distance and closeness and what kind of lights you choose to interact with and pay attention to, and those become desires, and that's a whole bunch of other shit. But just to stay on point here, because I got like a certain amount of data on this phone, so I know the video has X amount of minutes I got to utilize before it's gonna cut off because the storage is full or some shit, and then I got to go through that cycle again until I get another phone. But excuse me for the interruption. So jail, like, it'd be people be in jail in the mind first because they, well, just to have a mind and awareness, you kind of, it's kind of oxymoron. Like, we kind of are demonic by default, just having a mind and kind of being alive. It's like we're telling ourselves a lie to experience, like, our dreams, these images, these, you know what I'm saying, these phase belief imaginations that our space, that comes out of our space, like as far as how we're moving. So we're really just trying to figure out ourselves, which ain't even really there. It's all, so you got a piece of all possibilities, and that's what they're trying to point to as a god or some overall like, it's their narrative as far as these men and women running the world, the shadow government. they're making their mind, they're taking their mind and their little golem creature idea of the world that they came together and agreed upon. And there's more to that. Like, there's a bill. I have to break. There's more to that. Go check out Dolo the Pilot, man. If you want to, man, I'm not gonna go into all that. But yeah, they be fixated. So your mind be fixated first in certain areas and shit. But if you get just to have a body and shit, so you could say like, in some aspect, just before people go to actual physical jail with the bars and shit, in some way, shape, or form, you're already like in your own mind. You're already like in your own jail, your own hell. Your own cell. That's why your body's made of like however many cells, because you got a bunch of other spirits. Spirits just mean multiple spaces. So you just happen to be like on the percentage level, the space or you know what I'm saying? And that could be a group of like individual thoughts and feelings. But overall, you're supposed to be the more authority adult spirit flying your ship. Yo, this is like a vessel, spaceship. And you got all these beings and shit that came with you, and they're like, those are like your mini me's and your mini mans and mini bitches, your lower, like your lesser desires, your like your lords and all kind of little shits and shit like that. So it gets deep, but you're supposed to be piloting yourself, steering your own shit, not getting lost into something outside of you externally. Like we came into this world. People don't remember, like, people are scared, or I don't know, like the comprehension level is lacking, but at some point people forget like they came out their mom's like swimwear area, like downstairs area. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to keep my 8th house energies a little bit more private so I could get a little bit more explicit, but yeah, I'm saying like the bottom bikini area. Like everybody had to pop out of a portal that they just came from in a previous lifetime, and then they got here. So I don't know, but so some way, shape, or form, like police or anybody that goes to jail, just the jail like energy. Anybody's kind of involved in that, and that's kind of a broader concept that kind of applies to a lot of things other than the actual like business of jail, where we see the buildings, we see the police, we see the whole like infrastructure or that and how that operates. But there's like, it's before that. It's like we do this shit in the mind. So in a lot of ways, like I'm saying, it's like spirits be putting themselves into jail by default based upon maybe trying to obtain certain desires that since the shadow government, they kind of formulated a little legion. And this is like, I'm talking about shit that goes beyond like just earth time and real time. It should be like layers and shit, dream world, esoteric, you know what I'm saying, Babylon. And so they kind of like, they got the game sold up. And yeah, they be doing this shit in the esoteric realm. So they got their own little esoteric Babylon machine city, like the Matrix kind of concepts. And they just be trapping spirits in these little cages, these little jail cells. And I could kind of spin off examples like that, like Monsters, Inc., where the monsters would go to work and they scare the humans in they go through the door to the other human world or whatever, and then they had to scare them and kind of juice them up a certain way, get their little energy containers for the monster world keep going. So it's like they be throwing all kind of little messages out, just in the entertainment, because we just talking about the entertainment pillar as far as what a lot of people be into, you know what I'm saying, other dynamics other than just being entertained all day. So but yeah, man, a lot of people just be going to jail and shit because where the mind go, the body goes. So like you're gonna do physically whatever you got on your mind as far as thoughts and feelings, that's gonna bend in on itself to become like certain basically like certain, like the thoughts, the feelings, emotions. So it bends in on itself. So it becomes certain feelings you're going to start to catch at the lightest levels or like internally. And then it'll play out some way, shape, or form over time. It's playing out in a more dense, fleshly, fluid, heavier, after the certain adrenalines. Like you're paying attention to areas first in your mind. So wherever you send in your energy, that's what you're growing. It's like we're all farmers or something, you know what I'm saying? So people could be growing like shit that keeps them rooted, you know what I'm saying? So think of jail, that's like being rooted into something. There's a lot of positive jail, like, you know, you might put yourself in jail to fucking make music for 2-3 days straight. You might be a music producer or something, or somebody into whatever, right? You might go to work. You know what I mean? You got bills, you got money you need. We in the world where the money right now is the tool, is the medium, the middleman. But time, right? So you go trade your time for a piece of paper that is being used in this little monopoly game. So that's really what the starting point of this video is. I'm gonna wrap it back to that and I'm gonna end it off. I was thinking about monopoly. So here I am, like, you know, at this point, like, I got a certain purpose in life. I might be here to heal people, help others. So here I am. Shout out to Dolo, the pilot man again, and all the other people in the subconscious community. You know what I'm saying? The soul group type shit. Flights, air, pilot man teams, pilots in training, etc. Spiritual landscaping, like all kind of ideas are going on. You know, esoteric farmers, you name it, right? So when we start talking about the Monopoly game, y'all, if you ever played a Monopoly game, or you could go look it up, but there's a motherfucking, you know, get out of jail free card. So like, here's a nigga like, I'm out here, like, I got the get out of jail free card, like, I got the get out of jail free card. And it's like, I'll be trying to share my, you know, some people be open to receiving certain things, but a lot of people just be in so many indoctrinations and programs and filters and layers, they don't really be catching what I'm saying. Because I spend a lot of time trying to get out of certain like just programs and mind states and mindsets and just these other men's and women's creation, aka like in God we trust concepts, where they, you know, they want people to act in their mentality, in their fashion, in their liking. And this is how they're like playing like a fake like God world, where they think like, oh, they have the most truest, purest, like they think they're the most like, you know what I'm saying? Just some weird shit, because they ain't in reality, but somehow they came up to the conclusion, like, based off of their oral tradition and their practices and what they do, because it kind of justifies it, not justifies it, but it kind of makes sense, like, because they're getting away with it. So to some degree, not anymore, but, you know, at some point, you know, people be rocked to sleep, right? So, but not no real spirits. It's really be some weak ass magic. It's weak power. So that I be having to get out of jail free card, meaning I'm not convinced spiritually in the esoteric realm, meaning they might try to have me in trial in court and convince me or convict me of something to put me up in some kind of firmament or belief system, aka just trying to format me more into their system to comply and be, and you know what I'm saying, be more cooperative, and all these terminologies that you could kind of say like just being a bitch, really. They want you to be their bitch. And if you're not being their bitch, then they're going to make your life a living hell, even if you are their bitch or not. Like, so it's like we just need to change the whole narrative. But I got this get out of jail free card. Shout out to Pilot Man, esoteric lawyer type shit. I'm in court every day, or I might be in jail, like, you know what I'm saying? But I'm able to, like, kind of, I got to get out of jail free card. So I ain't really in jail, but they still, like, you know, I might be out on, like, bond or something, like, something stupid. But I know I'm finna beat my case, though, because I got Dolo, the Pilot Man, as my lawyer. So, like, I'm not convinced, period. And even then, I can kind of, like, represent myself to some degree, because I've been reminded enough, so, and I've been sharpening my sword, so it's like, I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced. I got the get out of jail free card. And if you see somebody in life with a get out of jail free card and they try to give you a get out of, like, hey, you know, you can get a, here, I got, you know what I'm saying? I got to get out of jail free cards. You know what I mean? I know how to, like, I know how to make them, like, counterfeit them at least, or, like, not counterfeit them, but I kind of, like, figured out how to make some, or get more from, you know what I'm saying? Get more from Dolo. Like, Dolo, man, there's certain people out here that might deserve, you know what I'm saying? Just throw me a few get out of free cards in case I come across anybody that, you know, is kind of worthy of one, or, you know, I kind of, like, see, like, they, you know what I'm saying? Like, all possibilities will let you know. It's not even my decision at the end of the day. I ain't no gatekeeper or nothing, but if y'all kind of get what I'm saying, I know I'm kind kind of just flowing, really. But, yeah, get out of jail free card. The whole Monopoly game is a board. It's got 4 points. It's a square, so they do like a lot of utilizing the square aspects, because that's kind of like how this realm is set up: fire, water, air, earth. You know what I'm saying? Fire, water being the emotions and feelings that kind of like more so govern the internal aspects, or the yin realm. So that's like, you know what I'm saying, the layer before this. So it's like a lot of people be caught up in the externalism, aka they might just be caught up more into the air and earth elements, and that might be in their chart too. So it might, you know what I'm saying, it might play out like, okay, they might just be more logical, a little bit more dry, and a little bit more calculated, or a little bit more organized, a little bit, a lot more structured, or, you know what I'm saying, they pay attention more to the shit that matters in this realm of reality, that as a collective, the teamwork makes the dream work has kind of agreed upon, you could say, kind of like majority rules. But it just really be this legion, the shadow government, and then the government we see on TV just be like they puppets. So they pretty much got the whole world like in some kind of puppeteer magic kind of like illusion trick on, you know what I'm saying? Got tricks on stage and all kind of little weird shit, clowns, jugglers, all kind of. It gets tricky, you know? It gets weird, because a lot of things people are just doing based upon their desires, and it's us, by kind of like natural selection, we came to this realm based upon our whatever desires we got lost in individually. So it's kind of like while we all here, we're doing similar things, the same thing, but like in like different ways. So everybody be doing the same shit, but like in their own way, at their own time, and how that correlates to them. And man, it be so much when we start talking about the jail concept, because it's like and then that J letter is like a hook. So like even just the jail or that court system, like a lot of time, you know what I'm saying? If you kind of are aware of it, people get into the jail system, and then it's like a whole spiral of events that kind of like one thing leads to another. But from what other people that, you know, I've been pulled over by the police and I had my experiences, but I ain't like had to go to jail. I've been to court one time for some petty ass shit when I was younger and shit, but I ain't like had to be in jail, thankfully, you know what I'm saying? But you know, from my experience and what people have shared with me, it's like, it's a trap. You know what I'm saying? It's pretty much a trap. So everything be like traps. You just gotta like kind of, if you're a wise enough spirit and spiritually inclined enough and have done enough shadow work, kind of internal evaluation, but not too much self-reflecting onto and self-projecting on others, but just looking at yourself in the mirror and acknowledging where where you might be lacking on certain percentage levels, and you know what you might need to adjust in your awareness and how you correlate. You know, correlate your system. It's like, because we all creating a system. Everybody got a system, so that's why externally we see a system. So we know there's gonna be some kind of system in place. So, but it's like we be just giving people be like the world, like people be giving their power away individually first to themselves, right? And then that might play out externally as like a shadow government, and then like, you know, all the little like aspects of that, as far as this little pyramid, Masonic building pyramid scheme they got like people building for them. It's weird, but like if people were more correlated with themselves first, they wouldn't need no police officer, they wouldn't need no judge, they wouldn't need no motherfucking fake ass representation of what the fuck America is supposed to be to the rest of the world. Like, it's weird shit. Like, I'm not giving my vote, my charge. I'm not giving my charge to no. I ain't never voted, and I never will. It ain't gonna mean, even if it ain't gonna count. Even if I thought it did count, it still wouldn't count, because they gonna put whoever in charge based upon who they want to charge and what's gonna fit their narrative or their agenda and how they size up. Watching us as like little operational variables and seeing how, because it's like, you gotta think there's millions and billions of people in the world, and it's like they got everybody kind of divided and conquered up, And it's a small little group of people behind the scenes, shadow government, these Jews, these Jesuits, these Masons. These are certain philosophical, like religious type of cats behind the scenes. You know what I'm saying? Deep into witchcraft, deep into spiritual concepts. Not too deep. Everything they doing though, they copying from us. So it's like they're not doing nothing that we wasn't already doing just for us to be born. Like they just flipping, they just twisting it on us. Like, and that's where they get people. So you gotta accept to be in jail first. You gotta you know what I'm saying? And then based upon whatever is on an individual's mind, that's gonna correlate whether they get put in handcuffs or not. I ain't, you know what I'm saying? Even if I got put in handcuffs, they let me go or something, or I just wasn't doing, or you know what I'm saying? I wasn't really doing nothing to even be in a position to be going. So a lot of times they be trying to test you, make you sweat, and Indian burns, where, you know, the little, you know what I'm saying? Where they do the little Indian burn rub on your arm. And see, you know, it's you know, they try to heat, you know, make you sweat, make your arm burn up. Make you sweat, make your armpits gland up, sweat up. That's it. And even the police and the people running, the judges, the lawyers, these niggas don't fucking know. And if they do know, they ain't shit. They just lying to everybody, and they know they lying. They lying till they got themselves. So they just digging their own hole, creating their next life is gonna be tragic. A lot of people don't realize that. A lot of people just lost in the shit. Their next life's finna be tragic. But yeah, man, shit, nigga, if you see a bro, look, you know, oh.